Well, I just got an email from one of my subscribers that said that she had seen a video from some people that are really questioning the sciences that I'm talking about and about vaccines, and some links that I can provide you for, and a little bit about the water that I'm talking about. The science that I'm referring to, first of all, it's a combination of a lot of sciences that I've researched over the years, which I don't have all the links to it, but this one field of study does answer an awful lot, and it's holodynamics. It is a study, basically, of all sciences that takes away the contradictions that are within our current sciences. Um, and he's come up with this concept that he claims can solve out for every problem known to the human experience. I can't find a contradiction within this. I've used it myself. I find it works perfectly. It does explain why your justice systems don't work, why your political systems, why your corporate systems, why your medical, your education, why every system can't work. If you want to know why, study this stuff, because it's brilliant. The guy should be winning a Nobel Peace Prize. The only thing that I find wrong with this science is it can't identify the unknown problem, which is if you make a complaint or you make an excuse, the problem actually is within you to solve. Where we perceive our world that, hey, somebody's doing something to me, you're completely out of control that way because you're waiting for somebody else to solve your problem for you. But if you use this tool with your problem that you have, then you can solve your problem. You can know how to, like, for example, there's a ton of negative shit happening towards me, but it's not affecting me. I'm using it to my abilities, which other people judging may not see the same thing I'm seeing. But as long as I'm happy with my life, as long as I see that it's not interrupting me, it's benefiting me more than anything, even though, people that want to discredit me, they're not. It's bringing more credibility to me than what people that are judging it to be discrediting. So it's like, don't be judging other people. Only be judging yourself, because the only people you judge is yourself, because you're only looking through your own eyes of what you want to see. If you want to see bad, bad will be there. If you want to see good, you can see good. It all depends on what you want to perceive is out there. So that is one science. The other, along with that contradiction that it doesn't be able to see the unknown problem, the creator of the science doesn't see his own problems. So, he was poisoned with high-grade uranium. Long story. He cured himself of that, but ended up getting a heart problem from it. And it's like, okay, how can you solve everybody else's heart problems but your own? Because he can't recognize his own unknown problem. But like, you could see himself with his own issues in this book that I find kind of comical. He also has focused most of his work trying to change the medical community and the UN, which the medical community would be sort of all unemployed. The pharmaceutical world would be unemployed. The UN doesn't really want that, because, a lot of corporations would be out of business if his stuff ended up getting out. So even peer groups to go over this is like, would you do that if it meant that if you found that this science was right, it meant you were going to be unemployed? One of the stories that is in the book, because he's more of a scientist, and when you come up with a concept, you have to prove it. So he's been proving this for over 20 years. He went into mental institutions, for patients that have been there for the rest of their lives. And when I think it was a 90% or 80% cure rate, the hospital fired them because they ran out of funding. No patients, no funding. So they'd have to shut the hospital down or get rid of the doctor that's curing everybody. So, this stuff does make an awful lot of sense, but you have to actually study it to see it. And the concept that it's so successful with is the idea that everything is causal. We all kind of know that already. hit your head over, hit yourself with a hammer over the head, you'll get a headache. You keep hitting yourself over the head, you'll keep getting a headache. But if you stop hitting yourself, the headache will go away. The new science is, Bruce Lipton is another guy that I would watch out for. He's was into stem cell research, and he is now trying to work at changing a lot of what we know about biology. And you have to look at science, the cells, like from a very quantum level, and we can actually rejuvenate. My joint muscles are not, my joints and my shoulders in particular, I couldn't even raise my arms any more than this. But I have full movement. I can do anything, like, and I have fibromyalgia. The joints here in my elbows and my wrists were deteriorating, and they're not anymore, and I don't have any pain. And all of it, like, it does take a process. It's not instant, but you have to work through a process. And so I won't get into too much about study it. That's all I gotta say. I know that it works because it works for me. I've seen the proof of it. I've also seen my life experiences that were kind of unexplainable. And I needed to find the science that actually proves it. And this stuff did prove everything. So if anybody is really sincere about doing some research, study it. Read the books before you judge something. All I can tell you is the research that I've done. I'm just, an everyday YouTuber sharing the information I have. I am not going to be, the teacher that teaches you this science. I'm only sharing what I've known. So I'm not your teacher. This guy is a teacher, not me. I'm just sharing what I know. And I've studied an awful lot. So I've put some dots together that a lot of people haven't seen yet. Now, where it goes in with the water helps you to see the unknown problem, because you use water, and it's not magic water. Whoever's showing that concept that it's magic water, there's nothing magical about the water. It's just that flushing your system out with water is a healthy thing, and we all need water every friggin' day. So if you use water to constantly be like your own personal mirror, buy what is on the bottle, and there's certain intentions, and two of them that I put on my bottle is no complaints and no excuses. So every day, if I make a complaint, it's in my face with the bottle. Every time I pick up that bottle, it is a neurology that goes on in your mind, that you are making an intention to pay attention, to be aware of self at all times. So it is a twofold, that as soon as you notice yourself making a complaint, if you're drinking water during the day, and the water is designed for you to remember to pay attention to what it is you're talking about, it sort of interrupts your thought processes. So you have to notice yourself making a complaint. You have to notice yourself making an excuse to be able to use this tool, this holodynamics tool that can actually transform your problems. And then it's twofold as to, you do have to have somewhat of a positive direction in your life. Intentions of how you wake up, what do I intend for my day, is very important. But intention is so powerful, it does have the ability to cause a lot of shit in our planet. Food banks were, a lot of people had good intentions to, buy food for other people that are needing food, but that is like a band-aid, because nobody's dealing with why do people need food. There's a severe problem why people need food in the first place, and there's no effort, no recognition that problems are not being solved. So all the good intentions of providing food and love towards people that need food is sort of, misguided, because if you actually went and solved the problem of why people need food, then you wouldn't be, needing food banks. We would have solved these problems years ago. So there are 6 different intentions that I find when I was in a position where I can make anything happen within less than 2 weeks. I mean, having a house attracted when you have no money, you have nothing, and I wanted a house, poof, it shows up. I've had a whole life experience of poof, money just showed up. Oh, this just showed up. I wanted to know the science of how can I get things that, most people would say, oh, you're crazy. You don't attract things that way, but yet they'd show up. So it was the intention that I had, and there were 6 different intentions that I had, the feelings that I had inside. So yeah, there's 6 different types of water bottles that I drink from that have different messages on them that just remind me to pay attention to it. And it's not about saying these positive affirmations. That's actually worse. It's about, if one of them is love and happiness. So every time you drink it, you have to actually remember, when was it that I felt love and happiness? What was that feeling like? And when you can sustain that feeling within yourself as you're drinking it, then you make an association that every time you drink this, you're going to make your brain actually, oh, I'm supposed to feel love and happiness. And if you can do this over and over again, it is like a neurology that you have to reprogram your brain to actually feel it. Not just say the words, but feel these intentions. And that's how that water concept works. Now, as far as a global solution, first of all, that water concept, which I've made lots of videos, you can find out the intentions, everything. Go watch another video. I'm not going to get into that now. But there are 6 intentions you might want to be aware of that attracts things. So with that said, it's like, okay, how do we solve global problems? Most of the problems is we're lacking opportunity. Everybody is gifted in something, but can you unfold your gifts, what you're good at? Do you even know what you're good at? What is the purpose of you being on the planet? Obviously to be productive at something, but not being productive at making some other guy rich. It's about making your life rich, but you're lacking the opportunity. So that's how I can see a potential with the water being somewhat of a solution, only if it's done as a nonprofit. This is not something that I would ever want to own. I think it's the most dangerous thing on the planet if any corporation actually owns the water. What I think is, if anybody is drinking from this water, you are actually the owner of the water. So if there was that motivation that, oh, all of us as a globe actually own this water, then we are in control. It's like taking over the corporate structure, that all of us combined can buy out those corporations and own the water ourselves. Now, if you look how much money the water bottle industry is, it's a billion-dollar industry. If that money was going directed to us, where we can actually go and make loans, interest-free loans, loans that are designed with a network to make sure you succeed, not wait for you to fail, or like you have a partnership going with other people that support you in developing whatever it is you want to succeed at. Everything is provided for you, and a payback of a loan is, it has to be in consideration to, it can't be a hardship for you to pay back. But refunding this human bank that we own, it does good to repay back. So it would work many different ways. First of all, you have to provide this free to areas that need to be built up. So yeah, we'd be giving water free to some areas that can't afford it. It's as long as they're drinking it, they own it. But we have to make sure people actually are drinking from it and develop their areas economically so that they one day can afford to buy it. This is where you sort of take over the economic system out of the hands of the greedy people and put it back into our hands and into our control. And at the same time, we're valuing gold and all of this other shit. What happens if we actually valued water? Would we make sure that our water is healthy? Would we make sure that, our oceans, our lakes, everything has to be healthy? Otherwise it loses its value. And we need to put huge amounts into what we value so that it will remain valuable. And it's us, the drinkers of it, the owners of it, that would be the caretakers of it, and take it out of the hands of the greedy people, because it has to be nonprofit, and it has to be a constant flow of supporting and providing opportunity for everybody. So this is far from something that I would want to own. I am not interested in profiting in any way, shape, or form. I mean, earning a living like everybody else earns a living, in the same manner as what is available to everybody else is the only thing that I would look at. Is I want to be equal to what everybody else is, but no more special, and no more beneficial. Like, I'm not the one that benefits from it the most. It has to be an equal thing. So that's where I see it as a solution. Is we are designed, programmed in our brains to think we are lacking something. And while you're lacking something, you're always going to be chasing that stuff that makes you feel. And all the stuff isn't making you feel what you want to feel, but if you actually are feeling without stuff, your whole life would change. It's changing everything around, and at the same time would increase your own personal health care. And also, there's so much technology to clean up all the pollution that's already around. I mean, there's so much involved in cleaning up the planet that this is what I think we should start funding. Is any new ideas that clean the planet should be given the opportunity to do so. And we aren't doing that. We are only funding anything that destroys the planet. And then there's the plastic area. I am totally against polluting our planet with plastic. But there is a way of solving that too. And that gets rid of the plastic problem on the planet, which I'm not going to get into because the video is already going too long. But that is a concern. A lot of things, people would be rejecting this idea just simply because of the plastic pollution. But this resolves the plastic problem. So it is kind of more to it, but there's the gist of it. I will put a link to that holodynamics site. Please do some research on Bruce Lipton as well. Lots of links you can search. She's got lots and lots of talks on YouTube that you can search out, that I probably won't put the links there, but I'll put his name for you to research. So hope that helps anybody else out that's curious as to the sciences that I am talking about. If not, oh well. Some people get it, some people don't. It depends on whether you are looking for a solution or you want to be stuck in the problem. You be the judge of what you want to make your world to be. It's just a suggestion. It's just a potential. If there's a problem with it, I'd love a peaceful conversation to see where there might be flaws in that idea. But the name calling and bashing is not something that is a productive conversation. It just shows that you have zero interest in finding a solution. I want to know where there's a contradiction in this. I want to know why this wouldn't work, or if this is a potential that just has a few flaws, how do we fix it? It's just an idea. I'm just one person that has one small little idea. Not that I'm pushing it on anybody. I just made a YouTube channel trying to see who else might be interested in it. What's wrong with this? Tell me. Peace out.